Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. 4 heavyweight fights on the Pedraza Commey undercard. We've got Jared Anderson, he's facing Miljan Rovcanin. You've got Richard Torrez, the Olympic silver medalist, returning. Also Efe Ajagba and also Jeremiah Milton. So first we'll start with the weigh-in. So apologies that this video has come so late in the piece. Literally in about 12 hours from the time that I record this, we're going to have one of these fights. But better late than never, they say. So we'll start first with Jared Anderson. So this is the main sort of heavyweight fight on the card. It's the co-main event of the Pedraza Commey event. So Anderson 241 on the scale, Miljan Rovcanin 230.6. So both in decent condition, but look, there's a gulf in class here. Rovcanin, he has a record, as we can just go up here, 24-2. But look, this is pretty padded. So 28 years old. In recent years, he's been somewhat active, but it's really been against nobodies for the most part. A couple of losses on the record, the most recent of them back 4 years ago to Ajagba, and that was a stoppage in 3 rounds. So I think we know what's up with this. Jared Anderson, a rising prospect, currently 11-0, number 52 in the world according to BoxRec. And he's had, I will couch this as a diet of European heavyweights that have bloated records. That's kind of been his fodder more recently. So he'd moved on from a few different journeymen and gatekeepers who were solid, had durable chins, managed to take him some rounds, like Rodney Hernandez, Kingsley eBay. And I think maybe those two guys are actually better than some of the more recent opposition. So you've got this diet of Europeans with bloated records, Vladimir Tereshkin, Alexander Teslenko, and now Miljan Rovcanin. And some of the comments in Fight Week, Rovcanin appears more happy to be here. His social media, he's been enjoying Vegas. He's here with his, you can see on screen, with his partner, seem to be enjoying themselves. Make of it what you will. I mean, he is entitled to have a bit of fun of his own on his own time, etc. But this screams mismatch. It looks like it's something on paper, but the reality is Jared Anderson, there's a gulf in class, there's levels. He is going to dispatch Rovcanin inside 3 rounds. If it goes longer than that, well, then maybe it's a bit of an off night for Anderson, because he's certainly got the talent and ability to get Rovcanin out of there. Anderson is, though, coming back from a bit of time out of the ring, some injury. He was meant to be on the Fury white card earlier this year, had to pull out at a couple of weeks' notice. So this fight here is what it is. Bob Arum has sort of been signalling that there's tougher fights to come in the next year, but I think he kind of needed to give that reassurance, because Anderson has sort of been leveling out in terms of the steps. It's just been more of the same sort of level, and that's because they want to give him some seasoning. He is only still in his early 20s. He's got some seasoning. There's no need to rush him. These overinflated records from these European guys, it looks good. It's meant to look like a step up and represent a step up, but it's still on the same level as the likes of Kingsley eBay. In reality, it is. But he's going to win here inside 3 rounds. The other fight that's on the main card, that's a heavyweight fight, Richard Torrez. And I did comment in a heavyweight news and notes mashup video that Torrez on this card, and you've got Efe Ajagba buried on the ESPN Plus portion. So the main portion on the ESPN channels, and obviously the undercard, or part of the undercard on ESPN Plus. That's where 2 of the fights that we're covering are going to be shown. So you'll need to catch those. They'll be earlier in the night. That main card starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So Richard Torrez, he's facing Marco Antonio Canedo. Torrez, 225 pounds on the scale. And Canedo, it is what it is. Richard Torrez, he's got less than a handful of fights. This is a prospect level fight for him to go out there, get a bit of action, activity, under the bright lights, add to the resume, and keep working through those requisite steps as he starts to slowly build up. Make of it what you will. We can't really take too much from it. Efe Ajagba, he's on the ESPN Plus portion. So on the scale, he was 232 pounds, and actually pretty light for him. I haven't actually, I'll just do this right now. So let's check out this card. Where are we? Efe Ajagba, go to his record. Yeah, so coming down, so 5 pounds lighter than his last fight. And he had, for quite a while, sort of been high 230s, early 240s. I mean, with his level of sort of stuck in the mud type of footwork, where he just looks a little bit stiff and plodding, I think coming in lighter is going to be to his benefit. We saw against Frank Sanchez that Efe Ajagba, just with a mover, it was too much for him. So they've got a lot of work to put into him. Kay Karoma, his trainer, they need to really try to utilize what he's got, and some of it's going to be about matchmaking. Let's face it, this fight with Jozsef Darmos is going to be, and I've never seen Darmos fight, so this is a clear just soft lob, bit of confidence, get a highlight reel knockout, and it'll be what it'll be. But Ajagba, they must be thinking, look, the value in the way that he's going to fight is probably, besides the straight punches, the heavy hands, that he needs to be a bit lighter, a bit more nimble, and they obviously want to sort of try that out and see what sort of results that bears. Is this the fight we really see what that lighter weight's going to help produce for him? Maybe he'll be slightly more fleet of foot. I'm not so sure. I mean, I think Efe Ajagba kind of is what he is. In the right sort of matchups, he'll look devastating. But put someone in front of him, like a Frank Sanchez, or anyone who can, move even half as well and do some of the things half as well Sanchez can do, it's going to be a tough cover for him. So it's a comeback fight after that pretty humiliating loss to Sanchez, which really has scuppered his championship hopes, at least for the near future, if not for all time. But also being buried on this ESPN Plus part of the portion of the card does signal that maybe Top Rank is not so much in the Efe Ajagba business anymore. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does at the weight. You've also got Jeremiah Milton, who is from the area that this card is being hosted in. He's facing Nick Jones. And actually, Nick Jones is a former foe of Efe Ajagba and got absolutely wrecked by Ajagba a few years ago. Jeremiah Milton, we'll just get back to the weights here. He's 245.6 pounds. Jones, 217.2. Be interesting to sort of see how this goes. Milton is not necessarily considered in that same sort of tier as Jared Anderson or Richard Torrez at this point, but he does have some good skills. Came to boxing somewhat late, and he's been a very popular sparring partner, and his stock has kind of been going up and up and up. And he's had a couple of highlight reel stoppages, and for the most part, he's been making every poster winner so far. So looking forward to seeing him back in action, just to sort of see the progress and the development. Trains in Vegas, gets a lot of good sparring, and is obviously a sought-after sparring partner as well. So it'll be interesting to see his steps. I think he'll probably end up doing what Ajagba did and get a stoppage here against Jones. But maybe he'll be made to work for it for a round or two before the shot lands. But what do you make of this card? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.